I'm going to show how I built a soffit around my ductwork to prepare it for drywall. I first measured the length of the ductwork using the nearest floor joist as my endpoints. I will use these as my nailers for the framework. After making note of the length, I will then measure the height, starting at the floor joist to where it clears the ductwork. I will start by building the face of the soffit. This is sometimes known as the ladder. It is extremely important to pick straight lumber for your soffit. For the top rail of the ladder, I chose a 2x4, and for the bottom rail, I will use a 2x2. These will be cut the same length as the desired length of the soffit. I then place them parallel on a flat surface, spreading them apart to the height that I want the ladder. The height was the measurement I took earlier that will drop down from the floor joist to clear the ductwork. Noting the distance between the rails, I will cut 2x4 blocks to create the rungs on my ladder. I then clamp the pieces together, making sure the rungs are 16-inch on center. The pieces can now be secured together using 3-inch deck screws. And just as a quick tip, you might want to drill a pilot hole on the ends of the 2x2s. This is to keep the ends from splitting when you drive in the screw. Measure out from the wall past the ductwork, creating a mark on the floor joists where the ladder will be secured. The ladder can now be lifted into place, with the top rail being the 2x4 and the bottom rail being the 2x2. Secure into place using 3 to 3.5-inch deck screws. Now the bottom plane of the soffit can be created by measuring, cutting, and securing in cross members. 2x4s will be used for these cross members and will be secured into place using deck screws. This is probably the trickiest part of the whole build. During the assembly, you need to make sure everything is square and level as you secure the pieces together. To make this process easier, I like to secure the end cross members in first. In other words, if the ends are squared, everything in between should be square as well. I then lay a straight 2x4 up against the bottom of the end cross pieces. This will be a temporary straight edge shelf, making the job of lining up the rest of the cross members a lot easier. Once again, you will use 3 to 3.5-inch deck screws to secure the cross members. The outer end should be flush and secured to the bottom of the ladder, and the back edge should be secured to the wall studs. Once the pieces are all secured, the temporary shelf can be removed. Finally, you'll want to make a last inspection of the whole soffit. Make a mental picture of how the drywall is going to be secured to your new soffit. You may find that there's certain spots that you need to scab in nailers for the drywall.